Waiters who grate cheese until customers say stop. What's the longest you've ever gone for? Dad is embarrassed to ask for the actual amount of cheese he wants. Instead, he brought his own cheese to the restaurant in a Ziploc bag. I wasn't aware I was supposed to tell the waitress to stop. I thought the waitress just put a predetermined amount of cheese on the meal. Grind 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 grind. Mom, you have to tell her how much cheese you want. Sweetie, me. Oh, that's enough. Used to work at Olive Garden. Very few people actually live up to their hype. The amount of people who said they were cheese freaks and stopped after not even 2 turns of the grater was insane. But the longest was a couple whose husband loved cheese and he took probably 2 blocks on his soup. I usually tell the people like this that I'm actually happy because they live up to their hype. I used to work at an Italian restaurant where we grated cheese like this. On one particular instance, I was grating and watching to make sure I was aiming on the food correctly. All of a sudden, I see this tiny roach fall out. Without missing a beat, I picked up the plate and made some excuse about how something wasn't right and I would bring it right back. I take it to the kitchen and they redo it in a flash and we deep clean everything immediately. But now every time I get offered grated cheese, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I also work at Olive Garden and we have this man we call the Mozzarella Man who is a frequent with his wife no matter what he orders. He always wants a tower of cheese on it. When I had went to serve him the first time, he turned to me and said, honey, you better go get another grater, because I'm about to tower that cheese block on my soup. Needless to say, I was horrified and quite entertained 3 more times that meal. Appetizer, salad and entree. He had quite literally asked for a tower of cheese, and every time he ate the entire tower. Our waiter told us that he once stopped grating cheese when he thought it was sufficient, and the customer started singing, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow," to urge him to grate even more. My hard of hearing grandpa took me to lunch at Olive Garden several years ago. He owned hearing aids, but never wore them. The waiter does the whole "tell me when to stop." Grandpa doesn't hear this and lets him grate for over a minute, and before throwing his hands in the air saying, in a very irritated tone, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, easy on the cheese there." Waiter definitely thought grandpa was a stick. Honestly, he sort of was. Last time the wife, kids, and I went to Olive Garden. I know. Fine dining. The server just left the grater at the table. She definitely got over 20% from us. Made a mountain that was slightly larger than the lady's shrimp Alfredo once at Red Lobster. I remember having to go get another cheese block. She was part of a group that later complained about my service, resulting in the entire table being comped. They left me $5 on what was a $300 check. Little more. Little more. Little more. Ah. Too much. Take it back. We asked our waiter at Olive Garden if they had a limit. He said no, but he did say that one customer made another waiter go through 3 blocks of cheese before the customer told him to stop. People are always like, "OMG, I like a lot," then proceed to get a little bit of cheese. I really don't care how much cheese you want. Bring it on, cheeseheads. Probably about 30 seconds. It felt like a ducking eternity and I slowed down a few times because it seemed excessive and the man just kept saying no. Keep going. Worst part was that it was over a steak. Edit. For some clarification, there was also some pasta on his plate if I recall, which is why I offered to grate some cheese for him initially. I always want way more cheese than they give me, but after about 7 seconds it starts to get awkward. What? You afraid you're gonna run out? Cut me a real slice. Customer here. I asked how much we are allowed to get. The waitress said, "As much as you want." I replied, "You don't have that much." Turns out, I was wrong. I remember a response to an AskReddit a while ago where the question was, what's something someone did to turn you off on a date, and the guy responded that his date asked for so much cheese it was repulsive to watch and made him concerned. Edit to add, I misremembered. The prompt was actually similar to this one. And the story was told from the POV of HTE waiter. Still a relevant and funny read though. Link. Credit to you/no_you_don't_. 3 stone dudes came into my work the other day. I don't think they could see the cheese, because I was grating for 2 to 3 minutes strong. This used to be my job. I'd always tell them say when, in hopes that someone will say when to tell me to stop. Only one person ever said when, and it was like a 10-year-old girl lol. That girl was badass. I'm too late for anyone to see my answer. But when I was the waitress grating the cheesy sweet little old lady's response to say when was, girl, let the Lord work through you. Greatest answer ever. I feel sorry for the guys who work in a restaurant that offers fresh ground pepper. Lol, I love black pepper, and cover everything in black. They actually become concerned after a while. I play this game with my fiance. Whenever we go to Olive Garden and they ask me to say when, I always say okay, cheerfully, and then proceed to stare down my so across the table. I make a point of not looking at the waitress or the slowly growing pile of parmesan. I just stare into my poor fiance's eyes. I do this until the shame makes her turn red and break eye contact. Good fun.